area where I do a lot of work is on the ground and the integration to the ground. And this is incorporating mostly Cossack, Slavic martial art work, but also some elements of Dumag, some elements of Silat, some elements of yoga, and I fuse them together. As a jiu-jitsu practitioner and a ground fighting practitioner, I really want to have the fullest possible spectrum of motion available to me at any time. I want to try to erode that fear of engaging the ground and be able to go down and up seamlessly. I think Moshe Feldenkrais said it most beautifully in his foreword to the book Higher Judo. He discusses the genius of working on the back in judo, or in jiu-jitsu for that matter. Because by working on our back, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of gravity and the limitations on our body. We force our mind and our body to explore the world anew, like a newborn child, using our legs in an arm-like manner. And it gives us just so many avenues to self-discovery and body opening and body strengthening. So, there are many, many cardinal positions on the ground. I'm going to perform just a very brief summary of some of the key ones. If you would like a deeper treatment, if you check out my ICSA requirements for ground mobility, particularly level 2, but I would say 1 through 3 are quite solid, but especially level 2 for this type of work. That's probably the most comprehensive treatment, but I'll give you nevertheless a quick introduction to the positions and highlight what the advantages of using clubs are on the ground. So normally we start off with, some kind of a basic kneeling position, the seiza position in the Japanese martial arts, or the keiza if I go up into the balls of the feet, and just learning how to transition from my toes into my insteps is a fantastic exercise. Generally I'll prescribe racking the weights either in front or on the shoulders as I perform this, and just practice opening the legs. Seeing that I can go from a symmetrical kneeling sitting position, balancing on the knees, balls of feet, and then see am I able to open and lift one. That's one of your first beginning exercises. If these are simple for you and boring, I can go into a T-rack, as if I'm performing that little watik, and that's naturally going to take whatever weight I'm working with away from my body, and it's going to put more demand and pull, so it's going to test my stability. Were I completely able, I could go into my jogging position, or likewise my extended position, or even a full point. I could work in a cruciform. So all of these motions now that were very simple become completely different and challenging, because now I'm working a much larger scope and engagement of movement, but I'm also maximizing my awareness of rotation. To turn in this tank-like format like this helps me gain awareness of my rotation. It motivates greater rotation, greater effort, greater twist, greater turn. I can work forward, or crucifix, or forward and back. Just exploring my balance and play with it to see how my arm positions change that relationship. From the ground, the shiko, or the warrior stance, which is the basis of Japanese ground walking. If we think of a samurai walking with a sword on the ground, it begins with shiko. If we think of a sumo wrestler preparing to fight, this idea of flaring the midsection of my body with my legs and my knees, but having a very narrow, mobile base in my toes, and having my seat and my center directly over them. And then of course here, simple elongations or sword swings place tremendous demand on your stability. And I can work my arms with my legs together to improve my awareness of my body position, and I can start to treat my feet and my clubs as in the same manner, putting heels down when I toe up, or placing heels up when I extend. This is a fantastic way to not only stretch and strengthen, but to help you pass limitations. If you have trouble holding balance on your toes, or you have trouble heel squatting, oftentimes we'll prescribe sitting on a ball or leaning your back up against the wall. But if I imagine having just that limit of flexibility where when my heels go down, I want to fall back, now, by virtue of the counterbalance with the clubs, I might be more able to hold it. So the club is a fantastic stretch and strengthener through all of these motions. One of the next cardinal positions for us on the ground is what's called the shin box. And the shin box is performed, if you've never done it, you can double up your clubs and place a hand on the floor for balance. But it's performed by shifting the hip to the side and sliding one leg back. Whew, it's a hot and sweaty day today, guys. So when we shift, normally I'll rack my clubs up on my shoulder. I will shift to one side as if I'm sitting on one heel, and as I do it, I'm going to take my front leg back so that my foot is just inside my knee. When I perform the shin box, there's a tendency to kind of want to sag. But what I'd like to do is have the straightest possible spine, and so the club can, again, mirror and emphasize that alignment, nice and straight. Or if I'm not able to handle it, if my hip is too tight, I will lean off to the side. So rather than post and lean and be kind of lazy about it, I can use my clubs to emphasize the weight in the lean. I can counterbalance with the clubs, with one or with both to get a deeper stretch. So the simple idea of returning to alignment in a shin box and extending away is a great way to work your clubs at the same time as you work your ground mobility. I can likewise point and push to the opposite side. To come back, I'm simply going to shin stand up on my front shin. So from a shin box, I engage the tailbone and shin stand. And then I switch feet like windshield wipers. One to one side, one to the other. And so this basic stretch is so fundamental and so instructive on the ground. And again, to switch, I shin stand, then place one foot inside the opposite knee and sit.